Yo, Elliot! Hey, if you've been following my training vlog, you probably know that I've been doing a lot of Olympic lifts. One of the things with Olympic lifts is that you've got to squat your ass really, really low. And I simply can't do that until now, and I'm gonna show you how. So one of the things you know about Elliot Hulse is that he likes corrective stretching, and that means I stretch before I work out. Cardinal sin of bro science strength training, right? But fuck all that, this is how I do it, and this is the reason why. Because when you stretch a muscle, you deaden the nervous system's response to that muscle, and it gives you better movement capacity during your workout. Also, it mobilizes your joints in certain ways that allows you to move through full ranges of motions that you probably couldn't perform without doing these corrective stretches. Dynamic stretching is cool, but it doesn't give you the same effect. Every day before I work out, this is what I do, and I also do this one more time before I go to bed at night. Check it out. The very first stretch is called a sideways squat with adductor stretch. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna approach the wall and put your ass up against the wall, slide your feet up the wall, and then bring them down to your sides like a squat. When in this position, you wanna bring your elbows in between your legs and start pushing them out on your knees. That way you stretch not only the muscles in your glutes and hips, but also your adductors. This is gonna be really important when you try to get down into a deep squat position. I hold this for as long as I can, no less than about 2 minutes. Directly after that stretch, I do the sideways saddle stretch. And this is where I reach those feet straight up in the wall again, and then let them slide down the side, stretching my adductors and the muscles in the mid part of my thigh. Again, this is gonna be critical for when you wanna get down into that deep Olympic squat. The third stretch I call the standing pigeon. It's very similar to the pigeon stretch in yoga, except, well, you're standing. So I find a table that's about the height of my hip. I bring the leg up and cross it in front of me. What you're gonna feel is a really good stretch in your peroneals, that's the side of your lower leg. Also, you're gonna feel a little bit in your knee, your glutes, and what would be classified as your IT band. I hold it for about 2 minutes on each leg. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know exactly what this apparatus is. It's the bioenergetic stool and has so many different benefits, including getting you to be a better Olympic lifter or squat lower. The very first stretch we're gonna use it for is to open up the front of your hips, your hip flexors and those muscles right around the front of your pelvis. What I do is I sit on it and just lean back, letting my legs fall down in front and my upper body rest on a bed. The next stretch is to open up the thoracic part of your spine. This is just gonna be just like the hip stretch, except I let the foam roller rest right down between my shoulder blades, about that portion of the thoracic spine that becomes very kyphotic or rigid in a curved over position. Because I've been doing this for so long, I also like to get an extra stretch by putting my hands over my head and locking it underneath the table. That way I can really brace myself as I drop my body down. Right after that, I go into mobilizing my feet and ankles. Most people don't think about their feet when they're stretching, but I've discovered that by foam rolling and stretching your feet, you give yourself a lot more flexibility and the opportunity to go into greater ankle flexion when you do overhead squats, deep squats, front squats, or any exercise that requires that functional patterning. Finally, just to tie it all together, I grab a dowel rod or an empty barbell and perform several overhead squats, each time trying to get deeper and deeper and settling in to get more comfortable in that deep squat position. So look, if you've included squats in your strength training program, which you probably should, then you know that mobilization is going to be a critical key, especially in your ability to perform a full deep squat. And the deeper your squat, the more muscle you can engage. These stretches are gonna support you in doing so. I hope this was helpful. I'm done. Yo, Elliot!